Welcome to the Croc Podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here is your host, Dr. E.
Howdy, Croc Nation. Dr. Tommy and Ellie here with you on Christmas Eve. Alongside me is my little drummer boy, the boy in the manger, the man with the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, Angel Santana. Have faith, let it begin. Angel, I'm so excited. It's Holy Christmas week, and I couldn't be any more joyful.
Let me tell you, I have been singing Christmas carols all week. I am on a staycation rearranging the home, but I can't think of any other time I'd want to spend than with the Croc Nation, citizens reunited to overcome cancer, because it is Christmas time. How are you, my friend?
Oh, everything is great on my end, Angel. Really into the spirit, as we talked about last week. It's just been amazing. And I'm so excited about tonight's podcast because for a number of reasons. Number one is, it is Christmas week starting tomorrow with our Sunday podcast starting off the Christmas week. Number two is that I get to spend some time with my kids later on in the week, which is going to be amazing. Number three, this is the last podcast of the year. So I thought, and we had done a beautiful podcast a couple of weeks ago, and now this is part two. And, I think if I think of Christmas, when I think of the spirit of Christmas, when I think about the holiday of Christmas, I think about miracles. The fact that Jesus was even born was a miracle. The fact that his mother and father, Joseph and Mary, were on a donkey trying to find a place to rest, and there were no rooms at the inn, as they say, and they were forced to give birth in a manger along with all of the other animals, and to have, what many people believe to be God. Again, the Croc podcast is non-denominational, but since it is Christmas week, we'll talk a little bit about that. And, that's a miracle. And I wanted to make this podcast about miracles. Angel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think anytime we talk about the holiday season, you can't help but bring up the birth of Jesus Christ. Of course, there are people that are going to believe and not believe in that, but I think that ultimately they love the story. Even those that are my good friends that are non-believers, they enjoy the story. And I respect that, and I think we respect that. But yes, it's a time of giving. It's a time of coming together. It's a time of amazing decorations. It's time for all of us to come together, smile, and close the chapter of another year so that we can begin a new chapter of a new year.
Exactly. And tonight's episode is a perfect end, as I said, for our year. It is a Christmas story. It's a Rudy Hoosiers Hallmark holiday special, all wrapped into one story. It's a story about a regular, real person. It's a story about extreme adversity. It's a story about courage. It's a story about hope. It's a story about faith. It's a story about strength. And it's a story about inspiration. And the best part of it, it's a true story. And the name of the patient, the name of the survivor thriver that we're going to honor is going to be the story of Mary Schofield. So who is Mary Schofield? So Mary was born the eldest child in a very large and loving Italian-American family. She grew up in a time when qualities such as honor and hard work and pride, selflessness and self-sufficiency were all the ideal. She grew up also helping everyone around her because she was the oldest. She never asked for anything in return or exchange for all the acts of goodwill, kindness, and hard work that she did in the spirit of her family. She got married, she had her own family, and raised them with the same qualities that she exemplified from her parents. I first met Mary in 1997 when she survived breast cancer. She became a breast cancer survivor. She never complained. She never felt sorry for herself. She did what had to be done and she got cured. But in 2015, Angel, the world she knew, the world of stability, the world of normalcy came tumbling down. She presented with a neck mass. She presented with a hoarse voice. She had some scans. She had a biopsy, and it revealed the unthinkable. She was diagnosed with the worst cancer you could imagine. She was diagnosed with what's called anaplastic thyroid cancer. It's a cancer that causes even the most experienced and composed practitioner and oncologist to unravel. Anaplastic thyroid cancer, Angel, is among the most aggressive of all human malignancies. Its mean survival time is only 6 months. It's typically considered incurable. The way it kills, Angel, is not by spread or metastasis or by injury to other organs. It slowly and deliberately strangles its patient and its victim in the most horrific and demonic way. And when a patient does survive anaplastic thyroid cancer, the doctors doubt the diagnosis. That's how aggressive this cancer is. So Mary's journey begins with extensive surgery. Then she had toxic chemotherapy, which caused nausea and vomiting, fatigue, pain. Imagine having the flu with all those muscle and bone aches all the time. And then I got my hands on her. We caused skin burns and swallowing difficulties, dryness, thick secretions where she would gag and feel like she was choking, difficulty swallowing, difficulty talking. And even though I'm sure there were days she didn't feel like getting out of bed, I'm sure there were days where she probably just wanted to give up, days where she had doubts about her faith, doubts about everything she ever believed in, days where she probably needed help from all of those she had helped and served her entire life. But to do any of those, Angel, to do any of those things would not have been who Mary as a person was. A person of faith who believed she would be cured, a person whose faith in her creator never wavered, a patient, a person who never let anyone know how much suffering she had to endure. But as we always say, there is hope for those who ask for it. Mary did the unthinkable. She was cured of anaplastic thyroid cancer. It took her an entire year to heal. Her voice started coming back. The dryness started to dissipate. The swallowing became easier, and her skin began to heal and become what it used to be. It took a year to start believing that she would be that one person, Angel, who just might be able to beat this unbeatable disease. And it took 1 year before her next challenge would present itself. There's an expression we use, Angel. Life sometimes is stranger than fiction. It means that sometimes things happen in our lives that are so unexplainable that you literally could not make it up. And of all the people to have more adversity thrown at them, Mary absolutely did not deserve any more tests of faith. She did not deserve any more pain or tribulation, but she got it. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It may not be the worst cancer, but it's certainly a top 5 killer and another cancer that would absolutely scare anyone to death. I love a man by the name of Yogi Berra. He had a lot of very, very funny and accurate philosophical statements. And he said once, deja vu all over again. And that's what Mary went through. She went from anaplastic thyroid cancer, where everyone said she would die, to pancreatic cancer, where everyone told her she was going to die. It takes a lot, Angel, to make me speechless. But when I found out that Mary was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer after beating anaplastic thyroid cancer, there were no words that I could think of that could possibly be supportive or encouraging or optimistic. My first thought was to ask God why he or she was causing and crushing this worthy and holy woman's soul, causing her so much pain. There are so many other people out there that are deserving of this narrative, but Mary was certainly not one of them. My second thought was how Mary was going to handle this new challenge. She metaphorically just survived the 12-round brawl with Mike Tyson, and now she had to get back in the ring without any rest and fight the ghosts of Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, and Joe Frazier all at the same time. Mary became the stuff of legends. There is a part in every uplifting story, every movie, song, when the audience is convinced that the hero or heroine has finally been vanquished. Tears are shed, spirits are dampened, hope evaporates. And then the said hero, heroine, opens their eyes, wipes away the dirt and the blood, and slowly rises from probable death to improbable life. And this is exactly what Mary did. Why am I telling you this story, especially on the eve of one of the most joyous days in Christianity? There's two reasons, Angel. Number one, it gives hope to healers. During a 40 or 50-year career in cancer, cases like Mary's come along only once or twice, and they are unforgettable. Once we see a case of David slaying Goliath, it gives us a perspective that we can share with our patients that are looking down the barrel of the Grim Reaper's scythe. Number two, it takes the dark harbinger of nihilism, where we all give up on our patients, and turns it into defiant confidence. Number three, it gives us a point of reference to know that all disease, no matter how aggressive, can be beaten with otherworldly medical care and otherworldly faith, belief, strength, and courage. It has specifically shaped in me a practice philosophy that I use every day, and that's the practice of guarded optimism. We never lie to our patients, we never give them false hope, but we remain optimistic until proven otherwise. And this becomes infectious to our patients, and it inspires our patients, and it gives them hope, and I believe it improves their outcomes. And this is the gift that Mary gave to me. And most importantly, it gives hope for our survivor thrivers, to all of our patients that have been told that they were going to die, to all of those patients that have been told that they are not curable, to all of those patients that have been given up on by not just their care team, but even their families and their friends. Mary Schofield shines as brilliant a light, a beacon of hope for the hopeless, an example of strength for the weak, a life vest for those drowning in fear and doubt. And Angel, in closing, I find it no coincidence that this week the world honors the Blessed Mother, the mother of Jesus, whose name was Mary. And the Croc podcast, not coincidentally, honors another blessed woman named Mary, Mary Schofield. I dedicate this podcast to you, Mary, and to your family. Angel Santana, have faith, let it begin. What do you have to say?
Before I give you my closing remarks, I do have a question that I think that would probably be on the minds of our listeners. Is that a common thing for someone, to go from, one true extreme to the next? Does that happen like that?
No, it
It,
only happens once or twice in a career.
because it's just, obviously we just heard the story. She overcame one of the biggest obstacles, right? And then to wait a year thinking that you've beaten the odds and only to come with another, like you said, your word, another challenge. I'm sitting here saying, is that normal? You know, um, I guess the best way that I can look at it and from my own version of, faith is that, most people would look at it and wonder, okay, is she being tested? One. Two, is she being punished? All right, here's my answer. No to the fact that she is not being punished. No, I don't think she was tested. I think he was preparing her for what was next. She had to overcome that big first Achilles heel in order for her to have even more strength, more confidence to try to overcome the second. Yes, some people would say she was defeated. I'd like to say she overcame the odds. But I'd like to say, more importantly, is heaven created another opening for another angel, another Mary. And to know that one day we're going to be sitting at the table, I cannot wait to meet Mary Schofield.
Angel, you will meet her one day, and you should have her on your podcast if you could talk her into it, because I certainly couldn't talk her into coming on today. But God bless her. She is a humble woman. She's
Unbelievable.
an amazing woman. She is an inspiration, and I can't thank her enough for all the gifts she's given to me. And we will end the podcast with this. So you are out there on the week of Christmas, and you have been told you have a cancer that's incurable. You have been told you have metastatic stage 4 disease that's gone to your bone or gone to your liver or gone to your lungs or even gone to your brain. You've been told that you have 6 months to live. And I want to let you know that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. It may truly be a fact that you will not defeat your cancer, but that does not mean that you will be defeated in your spirit. It also may mean that, like Mary, you will defeat your cancer. There is always hope. God is there for you. And I want to let you all know that stories like Mary infuse us all, from the doctors to the nurses to the care team to the patient to the families to the friends to the neighbors to even people who have never met Mary. These words will be inspiring to them, and it will help them in their own cancer survivor thriver journey. And I'll end this podcast again in honor of Mary and her family with a blessing, and that's to bless all of our survivor thrivers and wish them, especially this week, the week of Christmas, the last podcast of the year, to wish them all a very long, healthy, happy, and cancer-free life. God be with you. God bless you. Peace.
Hey, Croc Nation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast to your friends. Visit our website, crocvip.com. We would love to hear your feedback.